Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at how you can beat the Underpin on question mark difficulty. We'll also take a look at question mark difficulty a little bit later. To tackle the question mark difficulty you have to clear tier 8 on all the delves, I believe, or at least a couple delves at tier 8. My character is a 655 Vengeance Demon Hunter. I have a full set bonus. And I also have my lovely headpiece enchantment, which gives me some pretty good stats going into the Undermine. My Brann is also a fairly high level, 58, and on top of that as well, I have pretty much all purple curios. What I will be doing is I will be equipping my Brann with Pinged Augment for the flat boost to his damage. And also, one that I think is quite good for this, but I know some people may not like it so much, is the one that gives you a temporary haste buff. So we're going Pinged Augment Chip, just so that we can have the flat boost. And then we're going for the Overdrive Pylon for the haste 30 seconds in, because it's a boss fight, and getting a haste 30 seconds in is pretty good. Of course, it's only once, but I found it pretty useful, at least for the question mark difficulty. Or question mark difficulty, I should say. Get your food buff, and then you are ready to begin. Now, the Underpin boss is one that can be far more complicated than it seems, and lots of this is just due to watching several mechanics at once. Firstly, the first thing you want to do is watch out for his slam. The slam does a lot of damage, but most importantly, it stuns you, and this sets you up way too easily for a lot of his abilities. His fire cone attack does a pretty crazy dot, and he'll spawn a shield, which he'll use to recharge and heal himself, which is the most important thing. This heal is a little bit slow, especially on question mark difficulty, so you should be able to handle it, but be wary because it can give you some problems. As you begin the fight, he will begin to spawn these mobs on the side of the arena. He will spawn one wave at a time, but they don't disappear unless you get rid of them using the bombs. You'll see he spawns these bombs periodically. As you can see, I kicked one of them away, but the problems that you can face is twofold. Firstly, it's sometimes hard to click the bombs with all the chaos going on. We'll talk about how to solve that. And secondly, he might spawn the bombs way too far away from the waves, so this can cause you some issues. In fact, the environmental aspects of this fight are actually the hardest part of the fight for the majority of classes. Even for tank classes, I can find it a lot easier to deal with due to the fact that they can pull the boss away and maneuver him without taking too much damage. It's something you have to be wary of. So firstly, let's talk about the tar. He'll periodically spawn tar on the field. You need to make sure that you avoid standing in it. It slows you quite dramatically and can set up a lot of his moves to be easier. Secondly, the red lines will have a slight delay before they shoot a massive fireball along them from the ads. This fireball does huge damage. We're talking like over half your health. For some classes, it may even one-shot you. It is not something you want to deal with. And no, you can't even fight the mobs. That's the thing. You have to get rid of them with the bomb. Now, the bombs are going to be your biggest problem, but there is an easy way to solve this. In World of Warcraft, you can map a target interact key. This key basically will automatically interact with whatever target is nearest to you. I, for example, have this button mapped to F, and you can see that here I'm clicking it, but here, right, I can't click it because his body's in the way, and that's immensely irritating. So you can run around trying to click all of these to get them to be aimed properly. Or what you can do is just simply run up to them and double tap F, and your character will kick them anyway. It's far easier than trying to right click them in the process of fighting, and so using the interact key was one of the big differences that honestly made my time a lot easier with the fight. Another thing that also made it easier was making sure that I stood relatively close to the wave of ads, at least when they first spawned in, to get the mines close enough to easily aim. As you can see in this next clip here, you'll notice I'm not right-clicking the bombs. Instead, I'm simply pressing F whilst in front of them. And this makes a huge difference, although very unlucky there, as it basically makes my life far easier to deal with bombs that are right underneath me but also when I'm trying to aim a bomb that's right underneath him. It's this aspect that dramatically changed how I went about fighting this battle. One thing also that is important to note is that when he gets to around about 30%, he's going to spawn almost 2 waves of mobs entirely. Now you can obviously try to destroy these mobs and he will start to periodically spawn more, but it's not absolutely mandatory. See, the thing is although he will spawn more mobs and can give you more issues, you can kite him at this point around the arena since it's big enough, and generally avoid needing to kind of battle around the mobs. As you can see, I'm kind of just pushing him across the arena to take him out that last 30%. Of course, this will depend on your class, but generally that last kind of 30%, it's easier to just kite him than it is to do anything else. Once you defeat him, you are guaranteed the Golden Goblin backpack, but there is a whole bunch of other loot that you can actually get from him. So don't be too afraid to come back in here and try to grab some of the items from last season's boss as well, which have been added to his item list. In terms of the interact key, just to show you guys, you can find it under the targeting side of things. So you won't find it under the interact or action bar or anything like that. If you go to targeting, you will see that there is a interact target button. So you can see there it says interact with target, and if you double press this, it will actually automatically interact with the target closest to you. So just double tapping F will spawn the bombs. But that's it from me. I hope this has helped. Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.